Hey everybody, KC here, and I am here with Michael Sansolo. We're lucky enough to be attending an afternoon game at Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, and having a great time. I'm really lucky. Michael scored these tickets from a friend of his, so I thought nothing of getting in the car, driving 4 hours to Baltimore for an afternoon game. I'll drive 4 hours on the way back. Anyway, it's interesting, and one of the timely things about this is my son Brian was here just a couple of weeks ago, and I had brought him here to the ballpark in Baltimore, I don't know, 25 years ago. And wow, we were impressed by it. And when he came back, he said to me, "Hey Dad, it's a good looking ballpark, but it hasn't kept up." So I was kind of curious, and my reaction is exactly the same as his. There are things about this ballpark that are charming. It's 30 years old, right? And it was the first ballpark of its kind. And led to a lot of other really interesting ballparks around the country. But like, you know, the stadium, the scoreboard, it feels like black and white TV, right?
It's dated.
The seats are not angled in towards the home plate. There's things about it that just feel out of date that they've corrected in some of the newer ballparks. I mean, I've been to every ballpark. You know, this isn't anywhere near as good as, say, San Francisco or Seattle or Pittsburgh or Citi Field in New York. Those are all better ballparks. But you've been coming here a lot, you know, more frequently because you live in the area.
I live near it. And there was a time when you could not get a ticket here because, first of all, it was Cal Ripken, his historic streak. But also, this stadium really was a breakaway. I mean, you see behind us, there's a warehouse building. And you don't have to look far, you see the Baltimore Inner Harbor. When this stadium was built, it revitalized this whole area. Baltimore had a lot of issues, still does. But the stadium and the Inner Harbor created a tourist destination. There are hotels everywhere. It's really this stadium, and stadiums used to be built out in the suburbs with tons of parking. Right. This stadium's in a neighborhood.
Right, and that's important. Having a stadium you can walk to is a really important thing for a lot of cities. That's certainly the case in, say, San Francisco or Seattle.
Denver, for sure.
Or Denver. Oh, yeah. Love Coors Field. But it's interesting, you know, there is a business lesson here, right? Which is when this opened, it was the newest, the best, and the brightest. But over time, it's lost some of that sheen. A new format, if you're opening a store, is really only new until somebody opens up across the street with something that's newer and better and brighter. And I think one of the things that this stadium shows me is they've got to continue to reinvest. Now, the Orioles are problematic at this point. They're not even investing in their ball players to a great extent. But I think it shows us a competitive lesson. You've got to continue to compete. You've got to continue to innovate.
Well, you've talked a lot on Morning Newsbeat about there's no such thing as an unassailable advantage. At one point, this stadium was an unassailable advantage. They did have Cal Ripken, the history there, and they had a huge market to themselves. Since then, the Washington Nationals have moved in less than 40 miles away.
Not a great ballpark, though.
But they have a competitor.
Right.
And they didn't adjust. They haven't made a trip to Baltimore, something people in Washington would say, gotta go there. Right. I mean, it's a much nicer stadium than the National Stadium, but they have to do more. I think you're right. And you have to look at your unassailable advantage is only there till the guy across the street ups you one.
Yeah. Now, I should point, it's a Thursday day game, so it's not entirely fair, right?
Well, the crowd isn't as big as it would ordinarily
but
be.
One of the reasons we're here is we're both Mets fans.
They're cheering for us.
And they're scoring, yeah. And so we're Mets fans, and the Mets are playing the Orioles.
Yes.
But I got to say, at least half the jerseys in this stadium are from New York Mets fans.
Yes.
Yes. And in fact, we're sitting about right behind a couple. He's wearing an Orioles jersey. She's wearing a Mets jersey. Clearly a mixed marriage. Anyway, a lesson from Camden Yards.
Camden Yards.
That's what's on our mind. And as always, we want to hear what's on your mind.